Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to 2023, um, Java Champions Conference. This is the first session. We're very happy to have Otavia Santana with us. You are from Portugal now, right? Yeah. So
Yes, from
yeah,
Portugal.
wonderful.
Hello, Mary.
Yeah.
I'm glad to
Hello,
be
hello.
here and be the first one today.
That's
So
right.
hopefully,
Yep.
uh, everybody will watch us the whole day, and the next one you'll be amazing, especially around. We're gonna have several topics such as Kubernetes, Java 19,
That's
perhaps a little bit of Java 20. The whole future of Java.
yes.
And how about you, Mary? Where
Yes.
you are based right now?
Okay, I'm based in Chicago. So as you can see, that's just a
Oh,
picture of
nice.
how it was, a few weeks ago and when it was very cold. Thankfully, this week is warmer, these 2 weeks. So yeah, that's where
Oh,
I'm from.
nice.
Yeah, so very
That's
happy
nice.
to be back this year with Java Champions Conference. It's always been very exciting event. So thank you, and everyone for joining.
Okay, nice.
Yeah,
So let's
wonderful.
start.
Let's start. And
Uh,
today, yes, your topic is on persistence and Jakarta. So I'm very excited to hear about it. So without further ado, the stage is yours, Octavio. Please share your screen and we can.
yes, yeah, let me share my screen. 1 second. This one here. I guess everybody's able to see it right now, right?
Yes, I'm a
Let
share.
me
Okay,
check.
very good. So
So,
yep, I'm going to
so
exit
go
now.
ahead, Mary.
Oh, sorry, not the right thing. And here,
Oops, it's
sorry,
always
remove
happened.
my.
Okay, when you remove yourself and able to speak, I'm not able to hear you. Okay, but anyway, hello everyone. I'm glad to be here. My name is Otávio Santana. As Mary said, it's the first session at JavaConf. Please stay the whole day. Everything will be online. Therefore, if you're not able to watch live, you're able to watch later. And the good point of be live, we're able to do questions. Please think the presentation as a bar conversation where we just change ideas around specification and persistence layer. My name is, I said, Otavio. I use Otavio Java as handle here. Let me check. Let me share the name where you're able to use Otavio Java. And today we're gonna cover a couple of topics. Why do we care about data? The history, I know it's a useless information, but I love history. Sorry for that. I'll try to make it short. Challenge on data. Why so hard? Why so tough? And of course, why Jakarta? Come on, I'm a Spring developer. Why should I care about Jakarta? And then the newest specifications around data and persistence layer, Jakarta NoSQL and Jakarta data, and finally show me the code. Let's start. Why you care about data? Basically, it's a soul of any application that we have right now. I mean, if you look to the whole history of humankind, sorry for that, uh, the most important technology, at least for me, is the skill to write things. However, the skill to write things is not enough. We need to make sure that information will endure to a long, long time. So we're able to say or think an analogy where the first database that we had was the cave, and then we went to temples, church, to finally become more uh, informative or more automotive with IBM, server, and so on. The main goal of data is the knowledge, to go through the whole knowledge, the whole history around that. And yes, it has a long time, a long, long time ago, but it's still a challenge for us, especially because there is a lack of information. I mean, if you we compare the materials, the books around software architecture, We have a huge amount of these books like Design Partners, Soft Architecture. You might know Neil Ford, who writing several books around soft architecture, such as Evolutionary Architecture, uh, The Fundamentals of Soft Architecture, and so on. And on microservice, we do have the maturity model by Richardson. You might be familiar with Glover Hess. And as you can see, we have a huge amount of architecture materials and books. However, we have a few around data. We don't have much information around maturity database, maturity persistence. We have good books like data intensive application, architecture, and so on. But if you try to compare, we might have much more data around application than data itself. And the challenge around data is not just it. We have more challenges, such as if I decided to refactor a code, I'm able to do it, right? I'm using my IDE here, or my use Eclipse IDE, and done. I go do the factoring, done. If I decide to do exact something with database, I need to handle with migrations. And it's not trivial, especially because we need to handle with several data. You need to do migration sometimes and so on. We also need to think about the state of the database, right? We usually think when we talk about microservice, okay, let's do it on stateless application architecture style, but indeed, the state must be in some place. We need to put the state, it doesn't matter where, and usually it's going on to database. And that's why it's tough to handle with persistence layers. We have a lack of information, so have much more information around application. It's much easier. I'm not saying that's trivial piece of cake, but easier have factoring code than database. And then we have more partners around soft architecture like the Kanga 4, we have the XL model architecture. And on the persistence layer, we still have a few lags. Okay, so the challenge on data are those: lack of informations, factoring, evolutionary data. The idea to migration is not trivial, it's not easier. And finally, the literatures, the reads in books, and so on. Say that, let's move on to why Jakarta. Jakarta was previously Java EE, where the main goal was to and is to define specifications and standards around enterprise Java application. Therefore, if you use Spring, you are also a Jakarta EE user. Why? Because Spring Data JPA use JPA, and JPA is from Java Persistence API, right now Jakarta Persistence API. You might use servlets, and so on. So everything on Java might go through specifications, even if you don't care. Okay. Um, Based on that, we have two new specifications around persistence layer. One is Jakarta NoSQL, where the main goal is to make easier to integrate Java with NoSQL database. Let me show me my next slide. 1 second. And that is the idea of Jakarta NoSQL. As you can see here, I have my empty class. I'm using record right now just because I'm cool. And using that, I'm able to translate to several NoSQL database, as you can see here. So I have my common interface, the template, And right now, I'm able to work with four different NoSQL database types. Okay, the first one is key value. That looks like a map. The second one is column family or wide column, where we have Cassandra as an implementation. The third one is document type. You might be familiar or you might heard around MongoDB. And finally, graph database with Neo4j and so on. So I'm using Jakarta here. It's a specification. JNoSQL is the implementation. Those are totally different things. Jakarta NoSQL has only the API, and JNoSQL is the implementation, the engine to run. And the last slides that I'm going to show today is Jakarta data, where the main idea is to have standards around data persistence layer. The first one that we are working right now is the repository, where, as you can see, we do have a couple interface, and then we're able to put away the clients around the database persistence details. As you can see here, this is my picture where I have my business layer and then three different persistence layers. And the question is, where is my data access? And the answer is, we don't know. We have no idea. And as a client, we should not care. Okay, enough of theory, and let's go to see more code. Right now, to see a couple of codes, I will use Jakarta E as C. So I'm gonna use Jakarta E latest version, Jakarta E10. Uh, let's show me the POM XML, where I have my weld, that is a Jakarta CDI implementation. I'm using Jakarta JSON to serialize JSON when I need. JSON bind, YASM, that is implementation of Jakarta JSON. The configuration I'm going to show later, but the whole idea is to avoid to put this kind of details inside my application. If you are familiar with cloud native good practice and architecture, you might be familiar with the 12 factor application. The idea is I have 12 tips or commandments to follow to make my application safer, healthier, and more scalable in several cases. And because of that, this practice become more popular and more often discussed on cloud native application or any modern application. And finally, my Eclipse JNoSQL dependency, where I have my Jakarta NoSQL API with the implementation itself. Okay, I have my app here. As you can see, it's only CDI. And as my first step, I will create my first entity. On this case, I'm gonna use MongoDB, as you can see here. But if I wish to use another NoSQL database such as Cassandra, uh, my favorite one, by the way, ArongDB, and so on, it's fine to use and to switch. That's the main idea around specifications. Okay, I will start here. I will create my person entity here. It's only Java. So I will put my ID, I will put the name, and finally I will put the city. Okay. I will have two constructors, one to handle just to the creation, and another one should be the default one to my application start. Why? Because on this case, I want to use a mutable entity. This case is more often, right? I need to change the state of my entity. For example, here, I'm able to change my city eventually. For example, I was born in Salvador, and then I changed to São Paulo, Brazil, and right now I'm living in Liria, It's a Portugal city. Let's create the getters. The hash code. On this case, I will use the ID as uh, the 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 key element of the object. Uh, and finally, I will use the choose string. Okay, right now I have my empty. I will create my empty here. The first one, of course, is Mary. So I will create you here, Mary. Person, Mary, the ID, Mary, the name, and the city, of course, Chicago. I guess it was the Al Capone city, right, Mary? I'm not sure, but I think so. But anyway, I have my entity. My next step is to put annotations to mapping this class to my NoSQL database, in this case, MongoDB. However, as I said, if I wish, I'm able to switch between NoSQL database. So I will start to use annotation here. So to define the entity, I will use entity, as you can see here, Jakarta NoSQL. To define the ID, we use ID. It's pretty similar to the APA, especially because this approach, this methodology belongs more to DDD, right? Uh, the main difference happens right now. On the APA, those are enough, and each field will be persistable automatically. However, here, it does not happen. To define a field that must go to the database, you must define an annotation to him. So I will use the column annotation and the column annotation here. So right now, I have my person, ID, name, and finally city. Okay. I will start with the template interface. So I will inject container, select, template, oops, not you, template, not you as well, template. So what does that mean, the template? What I'm doing, I'm inject the template, okay? Is you be something like, if I decide to do something like this, so private template, template, and add inject, okay? It does not change anything here. That's the idea. So I have my template. The first step, I will insert Mary here, then find by ID. I have my person, Mary. This API has Java 11 as minimal requirements. So we are able to use new APIs from Java 8 and 11 or higher. On this case, it might return or not when I do a search by ID. On this case, the API returns an optional, so able to check to avoid any kind of null pointers. Okay, person, and if present, I will print Mary here. Let's check the README. I guess I forget something. So yes, I forget to run my container. Uh, 1 second, let's show to you that I will run this container. So I will start. By the way, Mary, if there is any question, please let him know. We don't need to wait until the end. I start my application. If you remember, I do have the micro profile configuration. where I'm setting the settings there. I'm defining here using the properties, Jakarta as database, and my connection will go through localhost. As you can see, I'm able to use that, for example, to locally put that properties, and on production, I will able to put user, um, user password, and so on. So if you want to know more about these properties that we are showing here, NoSQL has two layers. One is the mapping layer, where it's basically implementing Jakarta NoSQL, and the communication layer, where you're able to think, okay, thank you, Mary. So let me check here the topics. Uh, where you're able to check the properties here. So I have a couple of support here. So if I go to Cassandra, MongoDB, I'm able to check the properties I'm able to use. So host, user, URL, password, source, and the authentication mechanisms. So I'll show to you here. Let me share the link. Okay, let's return. Oops, let's close here. Sorry, I was chatting with Mary. Okay, let's start. I will run my application. Okay, hello everyone. Poland, Bangladesh, Netherlands, Cleveland. Oh, hello, Basur. How are you? So I started my application. I started my container. I insert my information using the template. Remember, the template is the bridge between my Java application and my uh, NoSQL database. If I come here, let's do the refresh here. I create my Jakarta database. I set to you, and I have two collections. Let's come here. I guess I have my select stuff from person, where I have Mary from Chicago here. Okay, so I did the basic steps. So I'm able to, of course, delete. I'm able to come here and delete everything. So person, class, and I'm going to delete you, Mary. Sorry for that. And let's execute again. And one good point when I throw that section, because we are not able to insert twice the same information. As you can see here, why? I'm not able to insert Mary twice. What can I do? I'm able to update Mary. Okay, so I'm able to do something like this. Or, oh, hello everyone from Brazil. Or I'm able to create a new one. So let's create Octavio here. It's not fair to Mary be alone. So Octavio, my ID is my nickname, Octavio Java, Octavio, and I was born in Salvador, so I put here. However, as I said, we are able to change if you will wish. So I will do a find by something and then run and start again. Hamlet, sorry. So this template put a questions. I'm not sure. Mary, do you mind if you put in highlights? Uh, is like the entity manager in JPA? Yes. The template looks like the entity manager on JPA. However, I'm going to show later, the template is the highest level to NoSQL database. We put the common behaviors here. You're able to use and explore specializations. If you remember, I just said we have four We're supporting 4 different NoSQL types: key value, document, column or white column, and graph. Why I'm saying that? Because right now this one is common to all of those NoSQL database types. However, if I want to use a document template here, I just said, right now I'm specific going deep on document types. So I have more power to explore. Okay, I have more capabilities to explore. So I put Mary, I delete Mary. I will create another one from Salvador here, this time Alberto. I will put here, he's also from Salvador. I will insert Alberto, and I will insert Otavio here as well. And I will execute those. Okay, it's my current exception because, okay, let me check. No, it's fine. Right now I have 2 entities. Let me check. Let me execute the console here. Right now I have Alberto and Otavio from Salvador. And using those SQL document template, for example, I'm able to do queries for more than a key. For example, here I have the option to also have the template. Let's delete this guy here a little bit. I want to do a query, so I will do a select from person, right? Where the city uh, equals Salvador. And if I wish, I'm able to do the order by uh, name. As you can see, what I'm doing here is exploring the capabilities of Fluent API to do a safer query. Okay, and then I will return this value as a list. So it will be a people. I will return people here, a list of people, and then I will put the value. The result is, so right now I have people. Uh, I'm doing a query right now. I'm returning people from Salvador, ordered by name as city. Why? Because I'm exploring the capabilities of document template. With key value, I'm only able to search information through the key, right? With document, able to do the query by the key plus to another fields, able to define an order using this kind of thing like this. So hopefully I make myself clear, Ahmed, around this. So template is the most generic behaviors between those database. And then we have more specializations like documents. And if you will wish, we have several capabilities that make sense only to a specific or particular NoSQL. Eventually, I might have MongoDB template, um, Cassandra template, and so on. However, those specializations uh, are not on the specification side. It only belongs to the specification. Okay, so I have my template. I return my value order by name. I'm able to do the opposite, the sending right now. First, it show Alberto, and then the idea is to return Otavio first, and then Alberto. Okay. So, guys, if you have questions, please let me know. I guess How many time do I have left, Murray? Do you mind to why she's answer me? I will check here. So
Sure. You have
again,
half hour. Sorry. Yeah, 30 minutes.
okay,
Okay.
nice. 3 minutes is
Okay.
enough
All
for
right.
me. So I have my entity, I have my person with my annotations here. Nothing new. If you are familiar with JPA, I showed the template that's more generic around NoSQL database, right? It's a template to JPA. However, in NoSQL, we're able to do or to have several specializations. Like once I'm using MongoDB, and MongoDB is a document type, I'm exploring the capabilities of document template. If I decide to use Cassandra, I have the power to explore the power of wide column or column templates, and so on. Okay. Uh, Here as well, I'm able to delete information. So I want to select, delete. I did the delete by ID, but of course, if I wish, I want to do delete by conditions where city equals Salvador. Okay, and then I will execute. Delete here, and let me execute again. So I will start, it will execute, and then show the result, and then delete information. Let me check the console here. Let's execute again. And as you can see, right now, I don't have any further information there. And that's the idea of Jakarta NoSQL, to use and explore the capabilities of NoSQL database. I'm showing only the, the NoSQL side, the document NoSQL side, but we have more. Another point, in this case, I do have my person that eventually I able to update, right? So like me, I was born in Salvador, however, I'm not in Salvador anymore. However, there are cases where I have my entity that does not make sense to change. For example, book, right? So I will create a book class here. And in this case, book does not change. So I have my ID, I have my title. Hey, Octavio, are you saying that the book does not change? Yes, does not change. But what happens if I wish to release an update? What you do is to release a new edition of this book. So what book has is edition. In this case, I'm able to do and explore the immutability. Hopefully, I said it correctly. Um, Hello, Java IT developers community. So thank you, Mohammed. And right now, I'm able to do it more immutable. So I have my class, I have my ID, title, and edition in behalf category if I wish. And in this case, I want to make sure once I put there on the information, it won't change anymore, right? So what I can do is to use immutable class. So here, final. I need to inject here my constructor and put the getters here, uh, and so on, right? So I'm able to define and explore things like this. And right now, my ID is not enough. So I need to have my ID, title, and edition, and so on. So my equals hash code might have everything. So let's let's create first a copy paste power. So let's use the app2. And on this case, let's explore the book here. So book, effective Java, so effective Java, effective one, effective Java, and the first edition. So to mapping it, I have one option to use the int here and then find my int ID here and then the column and so on. And I also need to define this on the constructor side. So I need to replicate that with ID, column, and so on. Oops. Okay, let's use a column here. If you are familiar with the newest LTS or records, you might asking, can I use a record to make this code easier and more readable? The answer is yes. On its case, it's completely fine to reduce this kind of code to explore the power of records. So let's come here. Let's use the string ID, the string title, and the edition. Let's remove the whole code. That doesn't make sense to us right now. And let's annotate it. So ID and then column edition. So title and edition. So you might have a year, right? The year of release usually is year, year. Okay. Right now I have my record as immutable entity. What I can do right now is to come here and create my, I don't remember exactly the year of the first edition of effective Java. I believe it was 2005, but I don't know, and that's not focused to find out right now. Uh, title edition in the year, title edition in the year. So come here. So right now I have the first edition of effective Java. And let's inject the template for us. So I mean, and come here. I will copy paste the whole line. Here right now, what I do is insert the effective Java, and that is it. And then I will uh, find effective Java by ID. Here, and then it will return a book, and then the book result is book. So I will execute this sample here right now. So right now I'm using Jakarta NoSQL with records. In some case, it makes sense to create a mutable entity like this. So I did the book result, and if I go to the database, so where are you? So where I will create the book, I will execute. I do have my effective one, edition one, effective Java, and year. Okay, and people usually relate record to DTO. I don't like this idea. In the record is able to go beyond that. I mean, for example, imagine right now I want to release a new edition. So book, new edition, where I'm waiting for the year, right? So what I'm gonna do, I will create a new book. I need to pass a new ID, of course, with this new ID. Uh, there's some title. Um, edition will be edition plus one, and the year will be the year that I found here. So right now I do have my new edition. So if I come here, I insert it, and then I will new edition. So effective active two, and then the year might be 2015, I guess. Second, and then I have my next edition that is effective three. The year was 19, so third edition. Third. What I'm gonna do, I will insert all of this. So I will create a list to insert oops, the second and the third one. And then I will do the query where I will do a search using the effective Java, the title, and the final order by edition. I want to return the latest one, right? So I will come here, replace, select, run book, where the title is equals effective Java. Let's copy paste here. And then I want to order by editions. I will take the results here. So I will return the book, effectives, my effective books, and then I will return here the effective books where I want to return the first one as well. So I will change here. I will execute this query right now. I have 15 minutes. Oh, something goes wrong. Let's see what's going on there. Use transaction, blah, 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 blah. Okay, duplicate key, effective one. So I might duplicating someone here. So maybe to do that. I will show that is a repository that we do it automatically to us. So let's finish this point and then go to data. And as you can see here, I return, and then my effective books, I return first my third edition, and then was increasing. Of course, if you wish, you're able to limit, to skip, and so on. So I able to limit by one, for example. I want insert here to avoid any mistake, and then execute again, and oops, no, it will break. It will break. Let's execute. And as you can see, I define the limit by one, and then it returns only the latest version of the effective Java that was the third edition. Okay. Hey, Otavio, can I make it simpler around persistence layer? The answer is yes. How? with Jakarta data. Again, Jakarta NoSQL handle with NoSQL specifically, like JPA handles with uh, relational database, and Jakarta data has the goal to be more data agnostic. So, for example, here I will create my repository. I will create my person repository, the interface. I will extend uh, to use a repository by Jakarta data. On this case, we have uh, before I have two questions from Mohammed. Are the software tools in or integrated with the ID? Yes, we have an integration. We have a plugin with IntelliJ where we will update soon, and it might come to Eclipse IDE as well. And the Java version that I'm using is Java 17 or the latest um, Java available in the market. So if I come here and F12, as you can see, I'm using Java 17 and my SDK is, oops, not you. My SDK is the IBM one or J9, okay? So I'm using J9 here. I will create my personal repository, return to my Jakarta NoSQL, Jakarta data. It's more data agnostic. And I have two APIs. I have my root repository where I have two parameters. One is person, another one is the ID type on scale string. And I need to identify it as a repository using a repository annotation. I have my repository. I will create a third sample here, F3. I have Otávio, Mary, and Alberto. I will inject this time the personal repository, my repository. I will rename to repository. Hey Otávio, but how can I do the semi-query here? So let me oops, use repository. 1 second. And then I will answer this question. Save all. List. I will list of Mary, Otávio, and Alberto. I will save all. So I don't care if you use save, update, and insert. The repository will handle that for me. About the question how to do a query equals name, that's the beauty of repository. So if you're familiar with Spring Data, you might know that. So I will do the find by city, string city. And that is it. So I come here, come to my repository. And that is it. Okay, if I want to find by ID, you have a method to find by ID. Oh, not people, but repository. Find by ID. And you're able to do the same thing with delete where we're not using it right now. So I have my repository, I have Mary here, Otávio and Alberto. I did the find by name. And as you can see, I'm returning Otávio, Alberto, and then the ID. And if you wish, you are able to define order by name here, and it's okay if you wish. And another point from Jakarta data, Remember, it does not belong to Jakarta NoSQL anymore. It belongs to Jakarta data. You're able to use the query here. So select star from person order by name. Example. So I'm using query. The specification itself does not care about um, um, about the implementation of your own way of query. But if you want to use, go ahead. Okay. Um, okay. There's one more question. Did you use any add-ons, plugins, or API libraries for this app product demo? Right now, I'm using just a pure IntelliJ IDE. You were able to do exact something with uh, Microsoft IDE or Eclipse IDE and so on. So right now it's pure IDE. Okay. This time here I use the query, so I do the query. And if you want to, so bottom city, so person where city uh, city ordered by blah 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 blah. If you wish, you're able to do that. Uh, it's fine for you. So I will answer this question. Just give me a moment. Thank you, Otávio, having the talk. Do the templates have mentioned also support features like Hibernate cachings? Uh, the API itself is only interface. So it belongs to the vendor to define how they will handle with that or not, or if they will implement that or not. Okay. So Jakarta NoSQL, the first implementation of this, does not have the caching. However, OpenLimit might have, or Quarkus might have, and so on. Okay. Again, it belongs to each vendor. The specification itself does not cover that. There's one more question: how make the repository metrics transactional? Is it again? It belongs to the vendor itself. For example, to NoSQL, we have a couple of NoSQL that does not support transaction. However, to JPA, it makes sense. In this case, the vendor who will support uh, to JPA relational database might able to create annotation to make it possible. Okay. Again, it belongs only to the specification or to the implementation. Why? Because the main goal of Jakarta data is be data agnostic. And there are over 400 NoSQL database plus SQL database and other solutions that might not have transaction. So onto agnostic, you need to don't make it mandatory. However, if JPA has, relational database has, the vendor is able to create annotation to collaborate with this to the APIs. I guess I don't have enough time just to wrap up. So today we talked about Jakarta NoSQL and data using exploring MongoDB. We talked about the challenge with data, why we should care about data, the challenge, because in the state of our stateless applications, it has several challenges. The Jakarta NoSQL specification focus only to NoSQL database. Jakarta data, more agnostic solution, therefore you're able to switch between SQL, NoSQL, or even web service. And we have more reference here. I will push this code repository here as soon as finish the session. And I share on Twitter and LinkedIn and so on. Okay, Mohammed mentioned the features for the new Java version. On Jakarta e-signs, we are looking more to the LTS by LTS. We are targeting, or we are working to target the Java 17, so we're able to use a var, a variable name. For example, if I start to use instead of list, we're able to use the var here. Let's reduce. We have a record, like I mentioned. So right now I'm using record here to make immutable class. That's nice. We have from Java 11 method factory. So I'm able to explore uh, a list of, and then return several values and so on. I guess on my mind, what I have right now, that is it. So we have much more. And when find new, the question is where you are right now and what you want for, where you want to go. Between Java 11 and 17, there are a huge amount of features that you able to take a look. On my mind, I could see this one. I guess I have just 2 minutes left.
Yes, so thank you so much, Otavio. And this has been great. Yeah. And I'll let you finish up first then. Yeah.
No, no, I'm fine. So I will push the repository and then share here. So that's all for today.
Okay.
And is there any questions? If not,
That's
I
great.
will push right now.
Okay. So anyone, do you have any more questions? And I think Otavio is pushing all the committing and pushing all the code changes so that will be ready.
Don't
And
do it
yeah,
production. Okay.
you sent it.
I
I
push the
actually
reference the master.
yeah, it's in the GitHub repo. Let me copy it again. This is the repository information. So
Yeah, let's show again. No, no, this one here belongs to drivers of
oh,
Jakarta
okay,
NoSQL,
all right.
but I will
Yeah,
show soon this one here.
okay.
Let me check here. Done.
Okay, great. Oh,
Boom.
you sent that to the private repository, but I'll copy it over. So
Yeah, I'm not able to put there,
oh, you're not able.
unfortunately.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. Maybe that's why I was wondering. So, but here it is. So, all right, here we go. Got it. So wonderful. So
And that is it. If you want to join us on the specification site, it doesn't matter if you wish more Jakarta NoSQL and data. Both are open and open to the community to give feedbacks and give tips how to improve and try out. And that is it for today.
wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much, Otavio. And yes, so if folks wants to get in touch, we know how to get in touch with Otavio. Thank you so much, and it's been wonderful to kick off the 2023 Java Champions Conference. So thank you, Otavio, and thank you everybody for having joined us. And I think there might be one more question, although the other session that comes after at 9 is starting right now. So I don't know. I believe that this channel is still open too. So if folks wants to stay behind, and but you may be like late for the other session, Otavio,
No,
would you
no,
like to
let's go
stay on
to another
to
session.
the
Okay,
session?
let's.
Okay. All right then. Yeah. So folks send your questions to Otavio separately then in that case. So all right. And we'll end the broadcast. So thank you very much and you all take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.